Why do the people you help sometimes become the ones who hurt you the most? Why does kindness, support, loyalty, or sacrifice occasionally lead to betrayal, resentment, or rejection? You give everything to someone. You lift them up. You support them when nobody else would. And then they turn on you. It's one of the most painful experiences in human relationships, and it's also one of the most confusing, because you didn't do anything wrong. You only helped. But according to Friedrich Nietzsche, one of history's most brutal and honest philosophers, helping others is far more complicated than it seems. In fact, the very act of helping can unconsciously create emotional debt, imbalance relationships, and trigger hidden feelings of inferiority or jealousy. And that, not your kindness, is what leads to betrayal. Nietzsche understood something that most people miss. When you help someone, you create a form of emotional debt. The person you helped now owes you, not in a literal sense, but psychologically. They know you needed you. They know they were weaker. They know they were vulnerable. And that knowledge is uncomfortable. Nietzsche wrote that gratitude is a burden. Most people want to be independent. They want to feel strong. They want to believe they succeeded on their own. But when you help them, you remind them that they couldn't. And over time, that gratitude can curdle into resentment. It's not that they hate you, it's that they hate the feeling of being indebted to you. And because they can't escape that feeling, they start to resent the person who caused it, you. This resentment is driven by something called the ego. Everyone wants to feel powerful. Everyone wants to feel capable. Everyone wants to believe they are in control of their own life. When someone helps you, it challenges that belief. It forces you to confront your weakness. It forces you to admit you couldn't do it alone. And for people with fragile egos, that is unbearable. Instead of confronting their own feelings of inadequacy, they project them outward. They blame the person who helped them. They convince themselves that you were being condescending, that you made them feel small, that you were only helping to feel superior. None of this is true, but it doesn't matter. In their mind, you become the villain, not because of what you did, but because of what your help made them feel about themselves. There's another layer to this. When you help someone consistently, you create dependency. They become reliant on you. They stop developing their own strength. They stop solving their own problems. And eventually, they start to feel trapped. They can't succeed without you. They can't leave you. They can't break free. And that feeling of being trapped breeds resentment. Nietzsche argued that human beings are driven by a will to power, a fundamental desire to assert themselves and overcome challenges. When you remove that challenge, you also remove their opportunity to grow. They don't feel grateful, they feel diminished, and they will turn against you to reclaim their sense of power. Now, here's the pattern. You help someone in need. They accept your help. They feel grateful at first. Then the gratitude fades. It's replaced by discomfort. They start to feel inferior. They start to resent the debt they owe you. They look for reasons to blame you. They reinterpret your kindness as control. They convince themselves you had ulterior motives. And finally, they betray you. They talk behind your back. They undermine you. They cut you off. They even turn others against you. In their mind, they're just reclaiming their independence. They're just freeing themselves from your influence. But in reality, they're destroying the person who helped them. Because the truth is too painful to accept. Nietzsche didn't just describe this pattern. He understood it on a deep psychological level. He wrote about the herd mentality and the will to power. He believed that many people are driven by resentment, especially towards those who are stronger, more successful, or more independent. He called this the slave morality, a mindset that resents greatness and seeks to tear it down. When you help someone, you demonstrate strength, you demonstrate capability, you demonstrate independence. And for people trapped in resentment, that makes you a target. They don't want to be like you, they want to tear you down. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your existence reminds them of everything they lack. Here is the brutal truth. Some people cannot accept help without eventually resenting the person who gave it. It's not about you, it's about their own insecurity, their own ego, their own inability to accept vulnerability. But it doesn't hurt any less. When you give everything to someone and they betray you, it's devastating, because you didn't see it coming. You thought you were helping. You thought you were building something real. And in a way, you were. But they weren't. They were using you as a ladder, and when they reached the top, they kicked it down behind them. Because they couldn't stand the idea that they needed you to climb. So, what do? Do you stop helping people altogether? No, but you do need to be careful. First, help without expecting gratitude. If you help someone, do it because you want to, not because you expect something in return. Second, set boundaries. Don't make yourself indispensable. Let people stand on their own feet. The more dependent they become, the more likely they are to resent you. Third, recognize the warning signs. If someone seems uncomfortable with your help, if they minimize what you've done, if they become distant or defensive, these are red flags. Fourth, help people who are already helping themselves. The best investment you can make is in someone who is actively trying to grow. Fifth, know when to walk away. Not everyone is capable of receiving help with grace, and that is not your responsibility to fix. Nietzsche's lesson isn't about cynicism, it's about truth. The truth is that human beings are complicated. We are driven by pride, ego, insecurity, and the desperate need to feel powerful. And sometimes the people you help will turn on you. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your help made them feel something they couldn't handle. The deep lesson is this: help others, be generous, be kind, but do it with your eyes open. Don't expect gratitude, don't expect loyalty, don't expect anything. Give because you want to give, because it's who you are. And if someone betrays you, know that it's not your fault. It's their burden to carry, not yours. Thank you for watching.